Every time someone tries to explain backend development, they say things like REST APIs, microservices, server-side rendering, and you just nod along hoping it will make sense eventually. It never does. So in the next 4 minutes, I am going to explain exactly how to get into backend from scratch, no assumptions, no jargon, just the real stuff. Let's start with where to actually begin, because this is where most people waste months. You need to pick one language and go deep, not wide. The 3 that make the most sense for backend in 2026 are Python, JavaScript with Node.js, and Java with Spring Boot. Python is cleaner to read, easier to learn, and has frameworks like FastAPI and Django used in production at massive scale. Node.js lets you use JavaScript on the backend, which means if you already know some front end, you are not starting from zero. And Java with Spring Boot is the go-to in enterprise companies, slower to learn, but extremely in demand. Pick one based on where you want to work, and do not switch. Once you have your language, the first concept you need to actually understand is how the web communicates. When your app needs data, it sends a request to a server. That request has a method. Get means fetch me something, post means here is new data, put means update something, delete means, well, delete it. The server receives that, processes it, and sends back a response with a status code. 200 means everything went fine, 404 means whatever you asked for does not exist, 500 means the server itself broke. You will see these constantly. Know them cold. Now, the tool that sits between your language and the web is called a framework. This is what actually handles incoming requests, so you are not building everything from scratch. In Python, you have FastAPI, which is fast and modern, and Django, which gives you everything out of the box. In Node.js, you have Express, which is minimal and flexible. And in Java, we have Spring Boot, which is the heavyweight champion Big Corpo uses. Every backend job you apply for will mention one of these. Learn the one that matches your language choice and understand how it routes requests to the right function in your code. Next thing you absolutely need to understand is databases. Your server holds no memory between requests, so everything that needs to persist lives in a database. There are 2 kinds you need to know. SQL databases, like PostgreSQL, these store data in structured tables with strict rules. They are the industry standard for most applications. NoSQL databases, like MongoDB, store data as flexible documents, better for certain use cases, but not the default choice. Start with PostgreSQL. Learn how to write basic SQL queries, how to create tables, how to link data between tables using foreign keys. This will cover 80% of what you need on the job. Now, here is a distinction that trips up almost every beginner, and it is going to save you from a lot of confusion. Authentication and authorization are not the same thing. Authentication is proving who you are. When you log in with your email and password, that is authentication. The server verifies your identity and gives you a token, usually a JWT or a JSON web token that looks like this. You carry that with every future request. Authorization is what you are allowed to do once the server knows who you are. A regular user and an admin are both authenticated, but they have different authorization levels. One can delete users, the other cannot. Mixing these 2 up in your code creates real security holes. Keep them separate in your head from day one. The next concept is APIs. Your backend exposes its functionality through an API, which is just a set of defined endpoints other systems can call. REST is the most common pattern. It maps HTTP methods to actions on your data. You also need to know that your backend will almost never work in isolation. It will call other APIs constantly, payment processors, email services, authentication providers. Understanding how to send requests to external APIs and handle their responses is a core backend skill that most tutorials skip entirely. Last thing, and this one matters more than people admit. You need to understand environment variables, error handling, and basic security from the start, not as an afterthought. Never hardcode passwords or API keys in your code. Use environment variables to store sensitive values. Always validate the data coming into your server before trusting it. Always handle errors explicitly so your app does not crash silently. These are not advanced topics. They are fundamentals that separate someone who can follow a tutorial from someone who can actually build something real. So yeah, that's basically all the fundamental knowledge you need for backend development without prior knowledge. Oh, and if you need a good place to practice your backend skills, then look no further than Scrimba, today's sponsor. Scrimba is not just another code learning platform. They have reinvented the learning experience by merging the video tutorial and the IDE. Crazy, right? Welcome to Scrims, interactive screencasts where you can pause the teacher and literally edit their code in the video directly. Whether you want to become a backend Chad, a full-stack legend, an AI wizard, or God forbid, a front-end chud, Scrimba has got your back. They offer full-blown career paths for each of these, with structured courses, real projects, and tips that go beyond dull technical stuff. We're talking real-world advice, things like how to act in job interviews, how to pass code reviews, or even how to LinkedIn your way into a job. Oh, and the neat part? They have a lot of courses for free, like how to deploy AI apps with Cloudflare or how to build and deploy your portfolio so you can test them out before upgrading to a paid plan.